Recently, a book called Biblical Critical Theory by Christopher Watkin has been exercising the minds of us mere Christians. In chapters 15 and 16, he talks about the incarnation. The incarnation is what we Christians celebrate at Christmas. It teaches that the pre-existent divine person of Jesus Christ, God the Son, the second person of the Trinity, took human nature by being born of the Virgin Mary. It means that Jesus was at the same time both fully God and fully human. He claims that this concept is scandalous to our modern minds in 4 ways, because we as modern people have 4 assumptions or prejudices about what ultimate reality or truth is. Can you believe him? Us making assumptions or having prejudices. The thought of it. He says that these assumptions are not so much wrong as inadequate in exploring what he calls ultimate reality, but I like to call truth. The first assumption we have is that truth is independent of history. Makes sense, doesn't it? 2 + 2 = 4, no matter if you are in the age of the Egyptians or in the age of Google. Jesus, however, called himself the truth, and his incarnation was a one-off event that appeared in history. In fact, it splits history into 2. There is a before and an after, marked in our calendars as BC and AD. It is the reason for the world's most widely celebrated Christian festival, which is Christmas. He says the second assumption we make is that ultimate reality must be universal. It can't be allied to any particular culture. But again, the Jesus of the incarnation is a particular person, a first century provincial Palestinian, Aramaic speaking, a male, a carpenter's son. He was not incarnated as an abstract form of humanity. He is a real person. He is not an ambassador explaining the truth or a vessel through which we can know the truth. He claims to be the truth. The third assumption he says we modern people have is that truth is an abstract idea. It's not a material thing. But Jesus came in a material body. He died in a body. He was resurrected with a body. And he went to heaven in a body. The idea of a distinction between body and a soul is a foreign idea in the Bible. Our bodies are part of us. In that sense, Christianity is by far the most materialistic of the great religions. This means that Jesus understands all our bodily functions and desires, its weaknesses and its resilience. The fourth assumption he claims we modern people have is that truth must be impersonal. Its abstract purity cannot be polluted by any human prejudice. But again, Jesus becomes a person, not an elephant or a dog or a thunderstorm or a raging sea or a mysterious object like in the film 2001 Space Odyssey. So ultimate reality or truth is just not an idea in the mind of the philosopher or a mystic, but it's a person who cares and loves, is offended and can act. So in summary, he says we think that truth must be independent of history and time. But Jesus appears in history and time. He says we think truth must be universal. But Jesus appears as a particular man in a particular culture. He says we think truth must be abstract. But Jesus appears as an actual material, a body, a real human being. We think that truth must be impersonal, but Jesus is very personal. So my takeaway is that we can know truth. We can know ultimate reality, like we know a person. And just like you can know a person, but can always get to know them more and more, so it is with Jesus. Of course, this is my takeaway from these 2 chapters in this book. But believe you me, the ideas expressed in this book are far more expansive than I have explained in this short video. But tell me, do you think the 4 assumptions he says we modern people believe in are correct? Do you think, as he asserts, that the incarnation is scandalous? Do you think Jesus is the truth, or as Christopher Watkin says, the ultimate reality? Let me know what you think in the comments section. And if you want to make my day, post a like or subscribe. God bless.